This is Valley News Live at 10.
A touching moment today as the officers involved in the fatal July 14th shooting were recognized at the NDSU home opener just this afternoon. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Zoe Jones. It's been almost 2 months since that horrifying day on 25th Street that took the life of Officer Jake Willeen and injured 3 others. Today, officers Andrew Dotis, Tyler Hawes, Zach Robinson, and the family of Jake Willeen were welcomed into the Fargo Dome as the special guest for the ceremonial coin toss. Valley News Team's Reed Gregory shares what that moment was like.
That was the reaction throughout the Fargo Dome as those involved in the tragic July 14th shooting took the field at the Bison home opener against Maine Saturday afternoon. As many packed the Fargo Dome to cheer on their home team, they also took the time to cheer on officers Andrew Dotis, Tyler Hawes, Zach Robinson, and the family of fallen officer Jake Willeen for their sacrifice and commitment to service. And as the team of officers and their significant others took to the field for the coin toss, Officer Tyler Hawes had the honor of flipping the coin in the ceremonial toss.
Everybody, okay? We got a real special guest for the coin toss today. I'm going to get out of the mic here just a moment.
And as they all worked their way off the field, cheers rang out from those showing their appreciation. In Fargo, Reed Gregory, Valley News Live.
Again, a very touching scene for many as they remember the sacrifice from those officers. Let's switch gears real quick and take a moment to check in with First Alert Storm Team Summer Schnellbach for a look at our forecast. Summer, how's it going?
Hey Zoe, it's going well. Thank you so much. We had a little bit of rain in parts of the region last night through this morning, but amounts were few and far between. Only a couple of reports coming in for our viewing area, courtesy of the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. 4600s in Brampton, North Dakota, 2300s in Oaks. Here's a map of where that rain fell. Take a look down at the south and west. That's where we had a little bit more beneficial rainfall, but most only saw a couple of sprinkles. Temperatures today were much more impressive. We hit 80 degrees in Fargo, well above what I had forecast. 76 in Grand Forks, low to mid 70s outside of the lower elevations of the Red River Valley. Zoe, temperatures now are in the 50s, some still in the low 60s, but we have clear skies, we have light winds. It's going to be a chillier night, and we have frost in the forecast a few days from now. We'll go over that hour-by-hour forecast, what you can expect tonight, tomorrow, and the week ahead here soon.
Perfect. Looking forward to it. So thank you so much, Summer. New tonight, a fire broke out in a home on 7th Avenue South in Moorhead around 1:20 this afternoon. That's where we find Valley News Team's Reed Gregory to give us a live look at the scene now. Reed?
Yeah, Zoe, good evening. I am here on 7th Avenue South in Moorhead. I'm going to step out of the way for a second. So you can see behind me what is now a quiet scene for what seems like the first time today. We still have some firefighters here assessing the damage. What we know so far is around 1:20 this afternoon, authorities received a call of a home completely engulfed in flames and a man on top of the roof of that home that was engulfed in those flames. We got the chance to speak with a neighbor earlier today about how stressful and scary of a day this has been.
I'm, a little terrified that this happened so close to our home. I heard a lot of screaming, a lot of yelling, just a ton of anxiety was in the air too.
Now, we're not exactly sure what really took place here today. We know just a few short minutes ago, the man actually just came down from the roof. He was on the roof for going on 8 hours today. Now, neighbors say they believe he got in some form of an altercation with a significant other and actually lit the home on fire himself with her still inside. Now, we're still waiting for information from officials, and we'll be sure to pass those on as soon as we get those across our way. But for now, in Moorhead, Reed Gregory, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you so much, Reed. We appreciate it. Again, we're still working to get final details as to what exactly happened. We'll be sure to let you know as soon as those details become available. One person is dead after a crash in Otter Tail County on Friday evening. According to officials, the accident occurred on Highway 10 and Highway 228 in Gorman Township in Otter Tail County. The crash occurred around 6:56 p.m. when a 2013 Ford F-150 was traveling westbound on Highway 10, turning onto County Road 60, and a 2004 Toyota Scion was traveling eastbound on Highway 10. That's when the two vehicles collided. The Ford F-150 was being driven by a 67-year-old David Michael Goebel of Eden Prairie, Minnesota. He was treated with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the Toyota Scion, however, was a 64-year-old female from Purim, Minnesota. She did pass away. Her identity will be released at a later date. A powerful earthquake has struck Morocco, killing more than 2,000 people and damaging buildings from villages in the Atlas Mountains to the historic city of Marrakesh. The quake struck Morocco's high Atlas Mountains late on Friday night, damaging historic buildings in Marrakesh, the nearest city to the epicenter, while the mostly bad affected areas were in the mountains nearby. Terrified people were woken up by the magnitude 7.2 quake, ran into the streets in terror and disbelief. People gathered in the streets, afraid to go back inside of the buildings that may still be unstable. The quake was the biggest to hit Morocco in 120 years. It toppled buildings and walls in ancient cities made from stone and masonry that were not designed to withstand quakes. The Moroccan military deployed aircraft, helicopters, and drones, and emergency services mobilized aid efforts to the areas hit by damages, but roads leading to the mountain region around the epicenter were jammed with vehicles and blocked with collapsed rocks, which has slowed rescue efforts. Monday will mark the 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, and the Biden administration is marking the somber anniversary with a $4 million award to the 9/11 Memorial in New York City. The new funding is under the 9/11 Memorial Act grant program. President Biden will speak to more than 1,000 service members, first responders, and their families on Monday at the Air Force Base in Anchorage, Alaska. Meanwhile, First Lady Jill Biden will take part in a wreath-laying ceremony at the Pentagon. Vice President Harris will be at the 9/11 Memorial in New York, and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff will attend events at the Flight 93 National Memorial in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. A Tennessee man dubbed Zip Tie Guy on social media was sentenced on Friday to nearly 5 years in prison in connection to the January 6, 2021 attack on the U.S. Capitol. Eric Munchell and his mother, Lisa Marie Eisenhart, were captured in photos and videos during the Capitol riot, carrying plastic zip tie style handcuffs. The duo was found guilty in April in D.C. federal court of felonies. Munchell was convicted of 2 additional felonies related to his unauthorized possession of a taser. U.S. District Judge Joyce Lamberth sentenced Munchell to 57 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. He was also ordered to pay $2,000 as well. His mother was sentenced to 30 months in prison. More than 1,000 people have been charged for crimes related to the Capitol riot. That comes from the Justice Department. Nearly 400 officers are now searching for the convicted killer who escaped from a Pennsylvania prison late last month. The intense 24-hour operation to find Daniello Calavicente is now entering its 10th day. The Pennsylvania State Police lieutenant says the added reinforcements are from state police and other agencies. He also says that law enforcement staffers are working 12-hour shifts at the command center, sometimes even longer. The increase in officers joining the search comes amid a series of incidents over the past week, including sightings. The latest spotting of the criminal was reported by an individual on Thursday at Chester County's Longwood Gardens. He's been spotted in and around the gardens at least 3 times this week. Surveillance video showed the prisoner escaping Chester County Prison by crab walking between 2 walls. He then proceeded to scale a fence and traverse across razor wire. Don't forget, tomorrow, former NDSU football player Cody Mauch is expected to make his NFL debut. His team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, will be facing off against the home team, the Minnesota Vikings, at noon tomorrow. We'll be sure to have the highlights tomorrow night.
And coming up in your forecast, we do have a warm-up, but first comes a little bit of potential for some patchy frost. We'll take a look at what days and how warm we get later in the week. That's next.